Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. This is the car. This is the one that my friend bought from the auction and realised it was too much work for him. He said to me, I know I'm going to lose money, and we worked out a deal where in the long run he's not going to lose no money. He's going to end up with his money back. So what we actually done is we took this car and money for the BMW. The BMW 330 Club Sport. So we got our money back on that car and we got this as profit. It has had quite a smack in the front and it looks like it's going to need everything across the front. The flitch is bent there, the wing, all of the front there. We don't know about the chassis legs, all of the panels. You can see front panel, all of the rads, the header tank there's all snapped off. So quite a bit of work, but I'm sure this is going to turn out to be a very nice car. So it's an E350 blue efficiency, but I have looked at the spec of it and it's AMG line. So it's got the side skirts, the different bumpers, the wheels, etc. I know that the roof and everything like that works. He sent me pictures of it and we are quite happy with the car. So let's get it unloaded and actually get it in the yard and assess how bad it actually is, and of course do that all important list of what do we need to get for the car. This one is going to be fun when it comes to the numbers, I reckon. Just off the bat, pulled it in. Chris said there's nothing really that looks like it's of concern, really. Nothing worrying there, is there? Nothing looks... The chassis actually looks okay, but does look like it's going to want a lot of bits. A lot of bits. We actually first thought we'd probably save this bonnet, but the safety catch is actually ripped out here that keeps it shut. You could probably repair it, but depending on how nice it's going to get. So V6, E350 diesel, and it is on the button. Actually, Chris, do you mind? We've got no intercooler on it, but the ends are still on. And you would have seen I've just drove it in here and I've pulled the roof down so that we can have a proper look inside it. Sounds beautiful. It's a little bit bubbly there because the intercooler's not on, but what was the mileage on it, Chris? It's silly low, isn't it? 50 something thousand miles, and a real nice car. Righto, mate, thank you. Half a tank of diesel. It is okay to run them very briefly with no water in it. It's fine. So the car itself is really nice. We was just saying it's going to turn out to be a very nice car. All around looks really nice, apart from that front damage. Definitely been well looked after. It is quite bright. I did just want to do a quick brief walk around before we move on. It's got all the LED lights. 60, I believe it's 2010. And it is the AMG line, so it's got all the bits on it. It's got lovely black leather in it. All heated, remote seats, power roof, sat nav, just the list goes on. It's got everything on it. But this is exactly how we got it, and this is exactly what come with it. So we've got no front bumper, we've got a headlight missing, there's not one parking sensor. There's a tiny bit of bumper in the boot, but nothing on there at all. You've got a plug here that's been ripped off. There's various other, when I was driving it actually, Chris said, you're going to have to stop, Rob, there's all wires. We've still got the outside temperature sensor. Oh, that was hard to get off. So, although with... Bolt together though, isn't it? It is bolt together. With the bonnet down, you can see it's got the corners curled over there and that little bit on the front. It's actually been hit underneath the bonnet, hasn't it?
Yeah,
you can see them.
It looks like this has been...
Someone's pulled it out, yeah. Obviously, I would say possibly, just a guess, the winch round it, a recovery driver. So that's probably what's caused that. But the chassis legs actually look okay. Now, we've pulled it in. Like I said, this is what we got, and we did not get any parts with it. And as usual, we need to make a list of parts that we need to start sourcing for it. Just off the bat, I think I mentioned I found a headlight when I was quickly having a look, £800. We won't be paying £800 for an headlight. We're going to be looking at buying a complete front end from somewhere. So we've got no airbag damage. Even the bonnet has had that little smack. These haven't gone off and blown the bonnet up. So we're good there as well. What's the plan, mate? Should we just get stripping?
I think so, yeah. Let's get into it, innit?
Take this front panel off, take this crash bar off, remove them rads, see if there's any damage on the back of the engine. There isn't no oil or anything like that leaking out of it, but also we got no power steering.
It's electric, isn't it? Probably.
Is it electric?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And we've got, yeah, that's possibly something to do with it there, is it? I don't know at the moment, getting carried away. Let's crack on and actually start stripping some of this down. We appreciate, guys, you probably can't see a great deal there, but what we are trying to do is just, I have to wheel my little chair along because I've got the charger plugged in. You can see we've got quite a substantial pile of bits there already, and they pretty much fell off. What we are trying to do is just get the rest of this damage removed. That rad pack was actually stuck behind the chassis leg. There's like a bolt that sticks out, like a bolt for an earth, but there's no earth on it. And the rad pack this side had actually pushed right past it and got stuck. So I've just checked that there's no aircon gas in it. We didn't think for a minute there would be. We've undone the aircon pipe and it just won't come off. That's stuck on. So sprayed that up, let it soak in. And Chris is removing the washer bottle. What do you need, mate?
A little screwdriver.
There. And there's a trim clip remover there. So Chris is just getting that washer bottle off, then we're going to get it up because the radiator, where it's hit up here, believe it or not, I've fallen for it before. There's still going to be water right up, probably halfway up that radiator. So we're going to get it up in the air once Chris has got the washer bottle off. And we'll probably drop the bottom hose off and let all the water out of it. But they don't take that long to take apart, but it's in a lot of pieces. And that bit earlier that I pointed out, that piece there, and said, look, it could be the power steering pump, is actually just a counterweight. That is all that is. It's just a weight. Also, we did notice, quite a lot of you are going to say, why didn't the airbags go off in this car? Now, the crash sensor is actually on the back of the bumper bar, and I think when it had the accident, what it actually done is rip the wires out of the crash sensor. So the crash sensor never actually went off, which is, it saved really us not putting an airbag kit in. So we'll just crack on and get the rest of it off. So the majority of it stripped out. We have still got to take this chassis extension out, but that wasn't important. We just couldn't get to those bolts. As soon as we lean the radiator over there to get it out, guys, that's quite a pile of bits. And there's loads of little coolers on it. So this one we've just wrapped up out the way at the moment. And I actually thought that was one cooler. But if you look, there's actually two there. And we're thinking one's power steering, one's automatic transmission. So something along those lines. There's also aircon on that one still, water and the fan. As soon as we pulled them out, Chris was undoing this lower bolt. I did notice something which we did get lucky because it's running all right, but we did get a bit unlucky because, don't know, do you want to shine your torch in there, mate? Sorry. I'll show as much as we can. I actually pulled a bit out that was sitting here, and you can see it's actually broken off there. So we knew we had to change that bit, and it turns out that goes all the way along, and it's actually got a hole in it there, which was surprising it run, really, because that's air, I take it. Yeah, it will be, won't it? But most of it actually looks okay, doesn't it? It just shows where there's such a big gap between the radiator and the car itself. It has just dug that pipe there. But then saying that, there was one on the GLA that looked like it had a dent in it. I went and got a new one. It was exactly the same. So I think we got quite lucky there with only that being the only damage on the engine. And like anything, when you strip these down, you can see that's not bent, is it? The top cap's bent, but that chassis leg's not bent, and neither's that one. So once you do strip them all back, it is just a case of parts. A lot of parts, and not cheap. Not cheap at all. Don't forget, we didn't even get a front bumper with this. The only bit of front bumper we got was that bit was in the boot. One corner. Not one parking sensor or grille come with this car. So I should think that that is going to be quite expensive in itself for a complete front bumper for this car. And we're going to need one. Anyway, that's enough for today. We're just about to put a video out. So we'll be back on it in the morning. And we're back. Chris just bolted this on while I had to pop to Barking and grab some bits, and this wasn't leaking. There was no leaks, there was no oil on the floor or water or anything on the floor. That radiator was half full, so luckily we did remove that and have all the trays under it, but Chris has had a good clean up. This oil cooler was not leaking, so he's bolted it back together. And obviously we've disturbed it. We knew it was damaged anyway and we was going to replace it, but it wasn't leaking. And for the purposes of driving it, we stuck it back together. But as soon as he started it up, it has started squirting oil out of here now. So we're going to have to somehow link these two pipes together. I think that's going to be our only option because it's quite a heavy car and we don't really want to be pushing it around. So that's a bit of a downer, but it is what it is, and we knew that it had to be replaced anyway. So overall, quite good. We are going to move on this morning, get the side skirt off of it and remove that damaged wing. And then I think we'll actually have it up in the air because I want to pick up on the forklifts. When people pick these cars up with forklifts, I want to have a good look underneath it. Abracadabra, and we're all cleaned up. Thank you, Chris. I just popped out. I actually forgot our lunch today, so I've just run home and grabbed it, come back, and Chris has cleaned up everything. He also removed that front wing and the side skirt. That side skirt, you can probably see on the time lapse, bit of a ball ache, Chris, that side skirt, right? Yeah. Getting it off without the clips. He said it was open, shut. You would have seen it there on the time lapse. No need for me to repeat it. Also, we just established we're never going to buy one of these Mercs that's hit here. I've never seen an ECU on the outside of the inner wing there like that. Normally on the other side, yeah, but never there. So if you're going to buy one of these and it's hitting that wheel, do bear in mind that the ECU is right behind it. I don't know about other models, and it may be because it's convertible, I don't know, but it is there. Also, just like a lot of salvage vehicles, it arrived and you actually said it's been fleeced in the boot, Chris, didn't you? Yeah, everything's gone. Jack's gone, wheel brace, no locking wheel nut, warning triangle, spare wheel, the whole lot is gone. So that does happen sometimes when the owner has an accident. They go to the recovery yard and they don't know what they're taking, so they just take everything. So Chris has also taken all the locking wheel nuts off. Let's get it up in the air and have a look underneath. Chris, remind me to mention those tyres, guys. This is going to be interesting. So quite a lot of you guys always say, can we see the underneath of the vehicle? And I wanted to pick up on the forklift thing because so many people ask. But the first thing I did want to point out is, and I know quite a lot of you are going to notice it, whoever did own this car, I did say it's been very looked after, and it has. You can see it has been kept nicely. But they got very, very, very lucky that their insurance claim wasn't rejected. Because that's one of the worst tyres I've seen on a salvage car. That is 3 points and your £200 fine right there. And this side isn't no better. It's gone past the wear markers. It does look like it's okay, but believe me, there's not anything left on that tyre. It is completely toast. But that one there is within an inch of showing cord. It's that bad. In fact, it's got a sharp edge there, so it probably has got the cord showing through. Not good at all. They got very, very lucky there that they even got paid out. So, forklift damage. Quite a lot of you do always say it's bad. They put it on a forklift. Guys, when they're salvage and they're hit like that, I think quite a lot of you will agree. You would rather they bought this car out from the lot where it is on a forklift than drive it with no fluids in it, because that short journey could potentially ruin the engine. The other thing is as well, it's for speed. They have to unload these cars off of lorries. They have to move them round. And of course, they have to load them on your truck. Quite a lot of you say, yeah, if it's got a wheel missing, I appreciate that. But I wouldn't want this car driven with no water in it, because it would ruin it. So the worst you normally get from the forklifts is a few little marks underneath. So the forks do go right underneath these back axles. They don't go into the floor. Then they also, the forks are so long, they go under the front subframe. So normally the car is resting on the back legs or the back axle and the subframe. As you can see how far away the forks were. So you've got your fork marks on there and you've got your fork marks on there. Fortunately, these are only plastic covers, but so you can see how far away they've got the forks. Yes, there's some little marks here, but no other damage. This is where the forks have gone in, both sides, and there's no damage there. And then when you go underneath and you actually look at them under trays, there's no damage on them either. As soon as the forks go right down on the floor, then they lift them up and touch the bottom. And normally the lower arms, as you can see, hang lower than the rest of the car. So the underside of the car doesn't really get touched. I know a lot of you do worry and always mention it. And I say to Chris, I always end up answering questions about comments on the underside of the car. Really, I should make a point of it. This one has definitely been off-road. So it's had an accident and gone off-road, or it slid off the road. But the wheel looks like it survived. There's no major damage on that. Just a lot of mud. We've decided we're actually going to take it outside, give it a little wash down, and then we're going to go through the mighty list of bits that we need for this car. Don't go anywhere, because you'll only ask me in the comments what I'm about to say. So this car, me and Chris just discussing it. The Club Sport BMW, I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, it's no secret. We wanted a couple of grand profit out of that car, and we would have got a couple of grand profit. My mate bought that from Copart and instantly regretted it. Didn't realise what he was getting into. Does buy a bit of salvage now and then, but never nothing quite like that. I think he's bought it on a whim. It's flashed up. He's priced up the bits and it's scared him off of it. He actually gave £3,350 for that car, plus the fees. What do you think the fees would be on 33, 600 quid? So it must be nearly close to £4,000 he give for that. We've took it as it's a couple of grand. That's what we wanted out of that car, and it was his idea. He said, I'd like to give you this car and this much money for that Club Sport. So it is going to be a lot of money on bits for this car, but it's now stripped. It's done. It's ready to start receiving its new parts, and then obviously have the paintwork done. So reasonably straightforward, easy fix, and we're quite happy. We've been looking constantly, you know, we've been saying this for the last year, And I think everybody knows in every part of the motor trade, it's just gone crazy. The prices of stuff is unbelievable. So we got this nice bit of salvage. We got the Land Rover to get on with. We got the Golf in the background. Got some more, another video to do on that. We still got the Escort sitting there. So still plenty of projects on the go, but nice to have a nice new bit of salvaging. I did just want to say as well, quite a lot of people on Instagram was asking about the KA. Is that for sale yet? That will be up for sale very, very soon. Chris actually noticed it had a flat tyre, so a couple of days ago, I pumped it back up and it's gone down. So I took the wheel down to have it done. The wheel's actually cracked. So got a new wheel on its way for that. As soon as it has come in, I will chuck that on Instagram for sale. That is going to be the end of the video on the E350 Convertible. Please drop your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think of it. So, like, subscribe, share, check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. And we'll see you later in the week for the next one.